Bobby Labonte's hoping to distance himself from a pair of Dales. Would the reigning king of the road courses be the man with the means? He made a rumble and survived a tumble. Gilles de Ferran goes for win number 3, while Michael Andretti tries to break into victory lane and keep his breakaway in the points. Hungary for some F1. 10 points separate 4 men from 2 teams, each with 1 goal. World champion. After all the work to win, you deserve a break on RPM Tonight now.
Going green this time by, going green this time by. Bring them down.
Hi there, glad to have you with us on RPM Tonight. I'm Reese Davis. Coming up, blockbuster news creating openings in kart, but we start where the door has been closed to all but one, Winston Cup road courses. May 5th, 1997, the last time the Winston Cup guys ran a road race and Jeff Gordon didn't win. Since that afternoon at Sears Point, Gordon had won 6 straight. Not only is the streak a record, but the streak contained enough wins to put Gordon into a tie atop the all-time wins list on roadies. The mission for the field, put the Gordon juggernaut in park. Off to Watkins Glen, Gordon going for 7 in a row, 4 straight at the Glen. Didn't take long to have a racing deal, and it involved Mr. Gordon. He and Tony Stewart getting to know one another, rubbings racing, but there will be much, much, much more on this as we progress on this program. Gordon's car had some damage. He would finish 23rd. That basically took him out of contention. Still on the second lap, we're riding with Jeff Burton, and look what happens to Cap E. Capital E is into the styrofoam of voodoo. Take another peek at this thing, and he goes into the back, and you know when you have that styrofoam, I ain't falling no styrofoam in my tailpipe, man. Ron Fellows started the race in 40th position. Fellows, this is the guy who finished 2nd in the race last year, moved all the way up to 15th by the 13th lap, but he had car problems. Something broke that made it go, and he was out. Fellows finished last. Lap 28, leaders in there for their first pit stop. Steve Park beats everybody out of the pits. Lap 35, watch the top of the screen. Just like Pop. Little E into the wall right there. Little transmission trouble. Take another look. We're riding with Little E this time in junior. Loses control and waza. Bud car is broken. True. Finished 40th. Late in the race, we have some drama. Steve Park's crew chief, Paul Andrews, and reason for Little E to be happy because his teammate is out front, but boy, does he have a mirror full of Mark Martin. Mark Martin, who won on this course 3 straight times in the 90s. Steve Park giving it everything he has, everything he can possibly muster, every turn, feeling the hot breath of Martin on his neck. Could have had garlic for lunch. Steve could have smelled it, but Park smells victory, and Mark Martin gives him a salute. Steve Park getting his first career Winston Cup victory, and there was much rejoicing as well. There should have been, and here comes the boss. Male bonding, guys not afraid to show their emotion. Of course, Steve Park drives for Dale Earnhardt and Cappy, most pleased by the young man's first victory. Park comes from 18th to win it, the worst starting position ever to win at the Glen. Must be something about New Yorkers, the previous worst. Jeffrey Bodine came from 13th in 96. Of course, Rusty did the same in 89, but he's not from New York, and that would mess up my whole theme. Burton's best finish on a roadie. Bobby Labonte gives Pontiac his first top 5 at the Glen since 95. Wally Dallenbach was the guy who gave Pontiac that finish 5 years ago, and he gets a top 10 Sunday in his Ford. 2-time winner at Watkins Glen, Ricky Rudd, finishes in 11th place. Well, the 77th time was the charm. Park had come close before. He finally drives to victory lane, and he'll join us on the program to tell us just how he held off Mark Martin a little later in RPM Tonight. Well, Bill Elliott, respectable at the Glen. Not the greatest place historically for him. Ron Hornaday, baby, won at Watkins Glen in a truck 4 years ago, and he brought Terry Labonte's ride home nicely. DW never won at the Glen. Finished 2nd when Cup Racing returned in 86 and didn't get that close again. Solid finish coming from the 36th starting spot. Gordon's run of 6 in a row is over, and his deal with Tony Stewart, by the way, is going to be heavily scrutinized shortly in our program, but now some scrutiny from other participants.
It was a good day for us, no doubt about it, and we just know that we got to keep doing that no matter where we go. It could be a day where we don't expect it, that something could happen. So, you know, any day you finish the top 5, I think that's good, especially for me on a road course.
Thought we should have had a top 5, and I just got caught up behind a couple of cars that got slowed down going into one, and it slowed me down, and then I got past the guys right behind me. So just unfortunate. We had a pretty good car. It wasn't as fast as those guys right off the get-go, but it would get better and stay pretty decent.
I felt we had something for Steve and those guys. I think all 4 of us were down in turn one time together. We were all through the bus stop together, and I started to lose some brakes, so I chose to back off and walk away with a good top 5 result.
I saw Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart in the pits. Those are probably 2 of the toughest guys we were going to be racing should we get to the front. And to see them a little bit wounded, I thought we got an opportunity here, and not to be.
Boy, the way Fellows was moving, you thought he had a great shot until the car went away on him. Winston Cup points through 21 of 34 races, and Bobby Labonte holds on to his lead, now up by 101 on DJ. Cappy loses some ground to Labonte. Tony Stewart slips past Rusty and into the top 5. Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin each move up 1 position. Gordon slips a couple. Kenseth jumps Mike Skinner and is just 1 spot off the head table at the banquet, but is still over 200 points behind the 10th place Gordon. Well, it's been a foregone conclusion with Juan Montoya apparently headed to F1 next season. Chip Ganassi will be in the market for a driver in the offseason. Now it looks as if he'll be looking for a pair. RPM Tonight's Marlo Klain reported this morning on RPM Today that Ganassi will buy out the final year of Jimmy Vasser's contract. 1996 car champion doesn't have any offers, but he doesn't want to retire. Vasser and Montoya still in the employ of Ganassi at Mid-Ohio on Sunday. Tough course to pass on, but Dario Franchitti and Team Cool Green car working on the kart rookie Kenny Brecken takes 3rd away. Lap 16, the trouble begins early for Juan Montoya. Juan into the gravel, running sideways and into the kitty litter. Montoya would spin that thing out, probably put it down in low gear and got out under his own power, but only to go a little off-roading again. Whee! Look at the bumps. Hope the shocks are good on that machine. Montoya continues to ignore the 90-degree rule on the fairways. Has to be the most expensive 4x4 in the history of the world. The points leader, Michael Andretti, running in 6th. He would complain of boost problems. I think we all know how painful that can be, and finish 8th. Now we're riding with Montoya. Elio Castro-Neves put Montoya a lap down. Of course, Castro-Neves started 2nd, and now Montoya. And then he didn't fill up with gas, as if he didn't have enough problems. His 8th DNF of the year, 2nd in 2 races. Lap 58, a coyote ugly day for Team Ganassi. Vasser down on Dario Franchitti, and Vasser, I guess, giving the hitchhike signal, but he and Franchitti would walk back together. 13 to go. Alex Tagliani passing Paul Tracy. They touch. Tracy spins. Adrian Fernandez gives him a little sugar. And Tracy going to sign autographs. Benny Agbayani moment. Elio Castro-Neves in control off the restart. Team Penske. Well, after all, with the wreck, surely there's nobody else out there driving except for Castro-Neves. Gilles de Ferran was, but he wouldn't catch his teammate. Castro-Neves, oh yeah, it's all about the trademark. 2nd win, 2nd time he climbs the fence. That one was a little higher than the one in Detroit, I think. Team Penske kind of weekend as Castro-Neves gets the victory. The 2 guys started 1-2. They finished 1-2, although in inverse order. De Ferran had the pole. Castro-Neves led 55 laps. De Ferran led the other 28. Christian Fittipaldi matches his best finish of the year, also on a permanent road course at Portland. Ray Hall's men both in the top 5. The points leader, Andretti, 8. Castro-Neves climbed that fence in celebration after winning in Detroit. Marlo Klain spoke with him afterwards. Let's see if anybody kisses anybody.
Alex Zanardi did the donuts. Elio Castro-Neves is definitely perfecting the fence hanging. Congratulations.
I tell you, thank you very much. I have to thank Marvel Team Paints to give me a fantastic car. I mean, everybody at the team. I mean, Team Cindric, he called the race and did a hell of a job. My engineer, Andy Moore, what a car I had this weekend. And of course, all the doctors. I mean, they really helped me a lot. Steve and all the rest of the people over there. I mean, I believe that's what make my physical better, and that's why I was able to finish the race.
You were fighting a virus here this weekend. You had IVs a couple of times here this weekend. This was the most grueling track that you guys run on. How difficult was it out there for you?
Very tough right in the beginning. As soon as you come off and a pit, and then I was by myself, was better because it was like clean and air, and I was able to manage myself much better. But I have to thank Honda to give him a great engine for the chassis, the tires, and of course, it's a perfect team.
Elio, is this one of the strongest cars you've ever had?
Definitely it is, and I'm sure certainly it's not going to be the last one. We're going to work much harder to keep doing a great job.
All right, earlier this year, Elio Castroneves won on the temporary street circuit of Detroit. Now he's got a permanent road course win here in mid-Ohio.
He does indeed, Marlo, and the Brazilian version of Had a Good Car. Guys worked hard there at the end, making sure to thank all those sponsors. Tony Kanaan's third race back after missing 3 with an injury, and he finished better each time. Mark Blundell, the last guy running. Tracy out of the points for the 6th time in 8 races. Not a memorable weekend, as you saw, for the men of Target Chip Ganassi. Vassar out by contact and apparently out of his contract. Montoya again with mechanical trouble. Luis Garcia Jr. just hanging on the page, finished last. Is right there at the bottom. Gilles de Ferran, meanwhile, finished 2nd.
Elio and I, we've been running strong since the beginning of the year. It looked like it was going to happen in Portland, and that could have happened in maybe Detroit, and you know, finally this all comes together. So this is great for the whole team.
I think the guys are coming together. Certainly the team has, and you know, the most important thing is all those people that hung in this race program, you know, from '94 and beyond, are now getting the rewards that they're due. And I just, Elio did a super job. He was on rails all weekend.
I guess we had a great day today. I'm very happy. Unfortunately, we couldn't match the Penske's, and at least we won the race of the rest. Let's put it this way.
Michael Andretti maintains his lead in the point standings, but de Ferran moves into 2nd place and chopped 13 points off his deficit. Roberto Moreno's fading. Kenny Breck is charging up 3 spots to 4th. Tracy is 7th. A lot of ties after that. Castroneves and Montoya are even. Likewise, Pappas and Vassar. Bobby Rahal has both of his drivers in the top 12. He spoke of all of his drivers, as in all of them, in his role as kart boss in regards to next season.
They'll actually be spending less time on the road. Even though we have more races, they'll actually be spending less time on the road. So I think it's just part of our strategy to, you know, do things that create value. More racing creates value. Testing's important, but there has to be a rationality to it and a reasonableness to it. And so I think this will do a lot of that.
Still to come, boys will be boys. Testosterone flowing between Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart in the post-race. We'll examine that, and I'll bet Steve Park couldn't care less about that little spat. The first-time winner joins us shortly.
For these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
For everyone who'd rather do it themselves, we make the rugged, dependable Wagner Power Painter with power, control, and versatility like never before. If it needs painting, staining, or sealing, the choice is easy. Get a Wagner and get it done.
All right, people. What do you got?
Death Slug. Big lizards are out.
Nice. Action figure.
It's big, squishy, and it leaves a slime trail.
Nice. Kitty meal.
The slug taco. Put salt on it. It shrivels.
Nice. Music video?
We call it Slug Slide.
Nice. What else?
Slug Slippers. Slug Slush. Slug on a stick.
Nice. What about the movie?
Well, we don't have a script yet, but we can bang one out by Friday.
Nice.
Don't buy the Hollywood hype. Buy what you want.
Cappy now 0-15 at Watkins Glen as a driver, but he got himself a win as an owner on Sunday. Just as they did in kart, Penske teammates finished together, although I doubt Roger's excited about this one. Penske Kranopus, to be precise. Hubert was in there from Mayfield. Nadu was running well until the wreck, and Ron Fellows had charged into the top 15 until a racing deal did in Chief Inspector Clouseau. During speed weeks at Daytona, we saw Tony Stewart get into a tiff with Robbie Gordon. Now he has the full set of chapped Gordons. As we saw, Stewart and Jeff Gordon were involved in a racing deal on the track. Afterwards, RPM Tonight caught exclusive video of some simmering road rage between the two in the garage area. Matt Yoakum referees.
After 2 days of bad weather and limited track action, things heated up early on Sunday. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart got together on only the second lap, racing for position and pride, taking each other out of contention for the win.
We ran side by side in an area that you can't run side by side, and I think he hit the curb and ran me in the wall, you know. And, you know, it's one of those things, two guys going for the same spot. Maybe I was, you know, trying to go too hard too early, but you know, I think that there could have been a little more consideration there.
It was my fault. I slid into him. I was the guy that made contact with him. He didn't hit me. You know, he hit me coming off of one, but I was the one that hit him up there where it caused both of us the biggest problem. And, you know, it wasn't intentional by any means. I got up there and I lost the back end and slid into him.
And after 2.5 hours of seat time to think about it, tempers were still hot and opinions differed.
Hey, you're the one always busting my about taking it easy at the beginning. Hey, buddy, make up your mind, all right? Well, speed up, you won't have that problem.
Go on your truck, move on.
Have your mind what you want to do.
You know what?
If you're going to do it, then I'm going to do it.
I'll slam you straight in the wall the next time you're anywhere near me.
First time you slam me in the wall, you better get your
Then what'd you do? What'd you just do? Just do to me. I owe you one now, buddy.
His comment was I had the line. Well, I've had the line a lot of times, and he's waved his fist at me. So the comment I kept making, and he never would say anything back about it, was, you know, how come you're always waving your fist and telling me to be patient? You weren't patient this time.
One person's got to give. And I had the position on him. I felt like I wasn't the one to give, but I did still try to give, and it didn't help.
When you get two people that are as competitive as they are, you know, they both grew up in the same place, done the same things. I think they're both, you know what I mean, they're competitors. I mean, two of the best, I think, in the garage area, and neither one of them want to give. And it's a shame to be doing that 1 lap, 2 laps into the race.
Tony Stewart was able to recover and finish 6th, actually jumping over Rusty Wallace to 5th in the point standings. Jeff Gordon wasn't as lucky. His 23rd place finish dropped him from 8th to 10th in the standings. In Watkins, Glen, New York, I'm Matt Yoakum, ESPN.
Matt, a little diciness, a little testiness out there. Steve Park is the third first-time winner this season and the 13th different winner overall. That's one shy of the modern era record. Can I get a Ricky Rudd to tie? Martin a tad disappointed by his finish, but he hasn't been outside the top 10 at the Glen since the Reagan administration. Gordon, meanwhile, his worst finish on a roadie since '94. It was 23rd. Still to come, number 1 in your program, number 1 on the scoring tower. He's Steve Park, and he joins us just after the break. And is the shoe me now on the other foot for the Drivers' Championship? We'll examine.
Daddy, is that the internet?
No, not yet, sweetie. Why don't you go see what Mommy's doing? Dialing up hassles? Not a problem with Comcast high-speed internet service.
Hi, Mr. Paperclip.
Comcast at Home uses cable lines instead of phone lines to deliver easy-to-use internet access with no waiting.
Wow!
Comcast at Home. Sign up today and get free installation.
Welcome.
Honey, we're there.
Tomorrow on ESPN at 6:30 Monday Night Countdown. At 8, it's WNBA playoff action. At 10, Baseball Tonight. And at 11, Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 7, Track and Field. At 9, Professional Bowling. And at 11, MLS Extra Time, plus continuing scores and news on the Bottom Line. And on ESPN Classic at 8, a Sports Century profile of the mysterious Mo Berg. And at 9, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the '81 Fall Classic. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Is going to win the Global Crossing at the Glen, his first NASCAR Winston Cup victory in his 77th race.
And joining us now from Watkins Glen, the third first-time winner on the Winston Cup circuit this season, Steve Park. Steve, congratulations, first of all, and secondly, tell me what's going through your mind. You're trying to get your first victory, and man, did you have a mirror full of Mark Martin.
Man, I'll tell you what, Reese, that's the most nerve-wracking thing I think I've ever been through. And these guys on this whole Pennzoil team, they told me, they said, just save your tires, save your brakes, because Mark's coming. And we wanted to make sure if he got to our rear bumper, we'd have something for the last lap. And he reeled us in and got to the back of us, and it looked like he might have got a little bit tight, and we got a little bit loose. And I knew it was going to be a good run. And I mean, it's undescribable how much of an honor it is to come to a road course and race guys like Mark Martin and Jeff Burton and end up here in victory lane with the Pennzoil team.
Now, I believe it was 3 years ago that you made your first career Winston Cup start at this track, was it not?
Well, this track claims the fame for putting me on the map when I sat on the pole with Joe Nemechek's truck and the Busch car and the modified cars and stuff. And they say this is the place where Dale Earnhardt recognized some talent in a young driver from New York. So, you know, to have my first win come in my home state, come in a place like Watkins Glen is just an honor. And, you know, this Chevrolet Monte Carlo was kind of hauling the mail, you know, and those Fords were running me down there towards the end. We just were hoping we had something for him, and I could see Mark's eyes right there on that last lap.
Now, after you crossed by the checkered flag, Mark did catch up to you. I trust that fist through the window there, the window net, was a salute, not one of those New York salutes or anything, was it?
No, there was no road rage there. We were in a pretty good mood. So Mark came up alongside, gave me a big thumbs up. Man, that just makes you feel so good. And to have a guy like Mark Martin, someone I grew up watching race, growing up racing, just to salute me like that and to give me a thumbs up was just something that was unbelievable. And you know, like I said, we've worked real hard to try to win, and we've had a lot of pressure to win through Dale Earnhardt and Pennzoil, and we just told him, stick with us, man, we're going to win. And I promised him I was going to be a winner at some point, and if he would just stick with me a little longer, we'd get this Pennzoil car to victory lane. And you know, he gave me a hug. I told him, that I was a winner, and he says, man, I never doubted you were a winner.
Hey, you had to have a little bit of frustration at some point during this season. Back at Texas, for instance, I think you were leading with about 53 laps to go, and Little E, your teammate, passed you and went on to win. Was it at all frustrating to see him have success and feel like that your team could too, but things kept happening to you?
Well, it was a little frustrating, but not from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s point. I mean, he's got a great race team, and he's obviously a very talented driver, so it wasn't a surprise at all that those guys would find victory lane, but we felt we were shut out of victory lane a few times with some mechanical failures, so we knew if we could keep the Pennzoil car in one piece and keep the focus that we had at the beginning of the year, that we'd all be winners and end up in victory lane. And I still don't even believe it. It's just, it hasn't sunk in yet, and I'm sure later on when we get done with everything and I get to lay in bed tonight, I probably won't get too much sleep. But I'd like to thank all the race fans out there that have supported me through all this, and through all the tough times. The letters kept coming in saying, you know, don't worry, man, you're going to win. You got a great team. You're doing a great job, and they kept me pumped up. And through all that, it's rewarded us with a victory.
Well, one thing you'll never have to hear again, Steve, the best driver never to win a race. You're a winner in this one. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. Now when you look in the win column, we're going to have a #1 in it right now, so we're not going to be shut out.
Bobby Labonte's not shut out either. Outstanding run by the points leader at Watkins Glen, but Labonte gearing up to venture into a much more comfortable environment. We'll talk about it in a bit.
Only 6 days till the X Games.
I'll be the kid rock trucking with the TVT. Twisted Brown, so stick around and after me. I got a band that slams, Kid Rock's the name. So get ready for the X Games, for the X Games.
The X Games, sponsored by 1-800-CALL-ATT. Saturday at 2:30 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ABC.
ATT man? Oh, he's our son. Such a good boy. Always let us know where he was by calling us collect with 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Even as a baby, he was very smart.
He was always on the phone, always calling his sweeties.
Quit calling. Call it a job.
He was always like, dial down the center. What's up with that?
He was obsessed with dialing down the center. CALLATT.
For the same low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
I'm a child care director. In the summer, I drive buses and vans. We have a blast on these field trips. It's just as much fun for me as it is for them. Parents are entrusting me with the safety of their children. We have to make sure we keep great tires on the van. We trust Walmart to service our vehicle. They have name brand tires and they have great prices, and I guarantee nationwide. That's one reason we bought them.
Brand name tires, oil changes, and more at Walmart Tire and Lube Express.
Because it's pretty precious cargo.
Formula One, the Grand Prix of Hungary on this track. It's all about getting to the first corner, not getting in trouble, and trying to get out front. And Mika Hakkinen, check out this move. He got past his teammate David Coulthard and then past Schumacher. The bravado not lacking, relegating Schumi to his rear bumper. And of great consternation, a 35-second lead over Michael Schumacher. 25 laps to go. Hakkinen's teammate David Coulthard in second. In the pits, Schumacher is closing and closing fast. Coulthard trying to beat him out and take second. Schumacher, oh my word! Schumacher in second place. He couldn't get out of second. Nobody would catch Hakkinen. Hakkinen cruises to the victory. Not to mention, after some male bonding, Hakkinen has the lead in the Drivers' Championship. He's on top of Schumacher now by 2 points. Coulthard is only 6 back, and the McLarens take the Constructors' lead by a single point over Ferrari.
Gordon inches ahead, coming across the line.
But here comes Bobby Labonte down the inside. They're 3 wide for the lead. Well, that's the way they used to race here in Michigan. It's good to see it happening again.
Here comes Tony Stewart to challenge Jeff Gordon, and Bobby Labonte will go to the bottom of the racetrack and take the lead from Dale Earnhardt. And the checkered flag waves. Bobby Labonte has his 4th win of 1999, his 11th career win. Here's the battle.
Bobby Labonte, one last fall at Michigan. 3 of his 14 career victories have come there. He'll be back. The Jeff Green Invitational also in Michigan. Both of those races on ESPN. Kart at Elkhart Lake. Christian Fittipaldi, 3rd this weekend on Sunday. This is where he has his only kart win. NHRA in Brainerd, yeah. John Force has won 8 events in his glorious career.
Gearing Up is brought to you by Toyota. On the edge every day.
Right now, you can get all this from Toyota. That's right. Not 6, not 9, but a full 12 inches. The Toyota Tacoma, offering the highest ground clearance in a compact truck for a very affordable price. The Toyota Tacoma offers the highest standard payload in a compact truck for around $12,000, which means you can fill it with something a lot nicer than bricks or cement.
So what'd they take?
2 sets of footprints. Let's get after them. Tracks just in. That's gotta be them.
Oh, Mama, that was way too close.
Pizza Hut or AOL.com Pizza Hut. Get the stuff you want, like clothing, video games, pet supplies, DVD players, and more. A pizza that's 30% larger than a large for $9.99, plus $30 online cash. It's like we're giving money away. The Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
For everyone who'd rather do it themselves, we make the rugged, dependable Wagner Power Painter. With power, control, and versatility like never before. If it needs painting, staining, or sealing, the choice is easy. Get a Wagner and get it done.
The biggest news in motor oil since motor oil.
Let me show you something that really surprised me. Look what happened to the other leading motor oils after a 128-hour test designed to simulate severe driving conditions. But this is newly formulated Pennzoil with Pure Base after the same test. I'm no mechanic, but I know which one I'd rather put in my car. These, I don't even know what I'd do with these.
For protection so strong you can see the difference, get newly formulated Pennzoil with Pure Base.
College football fans, get in on the action with ESPN Game Plan only on pay-per-view. Order now and get over 100 games. ESPN Game Plan, maximum college football. To order, call your cable company, DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH.
RPM Tonight is brought to you by Daytona USA, the official attraction of NASCAR.
We must check the world of outlaws. Mark Kenzer claims his 2nd straight Knoxville Nationals crown and 3rd overall when he passed Donnie Schatz late in the A feature. The points leader, Steve Kenzer, Mark's cousin, came home in 20th. Next RPM comes your way, 6:30 Eastern Time on Monday night, then 7 o'clock as usual the rest of the week. That's it for us. I'm Reese Davis. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.
RPM Tonight is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Today, Indy Lights Championship action returns to the